Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here today. We're diving into something deeply personal and incredibly powerful: how to transform your love life from the inside out. This isn't about quick fixes or finding the perfect partner. It's about becoming the kind of person who attracts and sustains real, fulfilling love. Whether you're healing from a breakup, rebuilding your confidence, or redefining your standards, this journey starts within. Because the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. Let's explore how to reclaim your worth, break unhealthy patterns, and create the love life you truly deserve. You know, one of the most painful moments in life is when someone walks away. Or worse, when they stay and make you feel like you're not enough. Breakups hit hard because they disrupt not just our relationship, but our identity. We tie so much of who we are to the role we played in that connection, and when it ends, it feels like we've lost a piece of ourselves. But here's what I want you to realize: breakups don't break you, they reveal you. It's in those moments of emotional collapse that your real character shows up. Not the version of you that was performing, adapting, or compromising to make something work. I'm talking about the real you, the one that might have been neglected or muted to keep the peace, to be loved, or to feel secure. When a relationship ends, it peels back the layers you built around yourself to fit into someone else's world. And yes, it's raw, it's painful, but it's also powerful, because now you get to meet yourself again without the noise. Most people rush to fill the silence after a breakup. They distract, they chase closure, or they jump into something new because the stillness is too loud. But what if you sat with it for a minute? What if you stopped seeing the breakup as rejection and started seeing it as redirection? What if it's not about what you lost, but about what was finally exposed? So many people ask, why did they leave? Or why wasn't I enough? But those questions only deepen the wound. The better question is, what part of me did I abandon to keep this relationship alive? That's where your healing begins. That's where you start turning heartbreak into growth. This isn't about blaming them or beating yourself up for what happened. It's about shifting the spotlight from them to you. Not in a self-critical way, but in a self-honest way. Who were you becoming in that relationship? Were you compromising your values, your boundaries, your joy? Sometimes we don't see how far we've drifted until the relationship ends, and then it hits us. We were losing ourselves slowly. That realization is your starting line, not your ending point. What's incredible is that once you see it, you can't unsee it. You begin to reclaim parts of yourself that had been buried under emotional compromise. You start showing up differently, not just in relationships, but in life. You become less tolerant of what drains you and more protective of your peace. That clarity didn't come from the relationship. It came from the breakup. The heartbreak shook you awake, so if you're hurting right now, let that pain show you what you were missing, not in them, but in you. Let it remind you of the standards you forgot to hold, the joy you postponed, the voice you silenced. That's where your transformation begins, not in someone else's arms, but in finally returning to your own. This is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a more honest one. You know what's wild? Somewhere along the way, we started treating ourselves worth like it was something that could be handed to us by someone else. Like if they love us, we matter. If they stay, we're good enough. If they choose us, we're worthy. And the moment they walk away, suddenly we feel like we've lost all value. But let me tell you something that could change everything. Your self-worth was never theirs to give, and it sure as hell isn't theirs to take. Think about that. So many of us go into relationships hoping that someone will make us feel better about ourselves. We want to be chosen, adored, validated. And there's nothing wrong with wanting love. But when that desire becomes a need, when your sense of value is hanging on whether or not they text back, stay committed, or see your beauty, then you're not in love. You're in a negotiation with your own self-esteem. And when it ends, when they pull away, you don't just lose the relationship, you feel like you've lost yourself. You start asking those brutal questions. Was I not enough? Did I do something wrong? Why wasn't I worth staying for? But those questions are based on a false belief that their behavior somehow reflects your worth. It doesn't. How someone treats you is a reflection of their capacity, their wounds, their timing, not your value. Your worth isn't a moving target. It doesn't shrink when someone mistreats you. It doesn't disappear when someone stops seeing it. But it does become blurry when you forget how to see it for yourself. That's the real work, reclaiming the value you've been outsourcing to people who were never qualified to hold it. You reclaim it by the way you speak to yourself when no one else is listening, by how you hold your boundaries even when it's uncomfortable, by how you walk away from what no longer serves you even when it hurts like hell. That's self-respect. That's where confidence is built, in the small, unseen choices that say, I matter, even when no one else says it. And look, I get it. When someone you love walks away, it's hard not to take it personally. It feels personal, but it's rarely about you in the way you think. You could have been everything to someone who still wasn't ready, still couldn't show up, still had their own issues to deal with. That doesn't make you less valuable. That just means their capacity didn't match your depth. So stop making yourself worth a casualty of someone else's limitations. You were whole before them, and you are whole without them. Your job isn't to prove your worth to anyone. It's to remember it. Every single day, especially when it's hard, especially when you're tempted to forget. You don't need someone to choose you to be valuable, you just need to choose yourself. After a breakup, it's natural to start thinking, next time, I just need someone better. Better looking, better communicator, better emotionally available. And sure, upgrading your partner might sound appealing, but the truth is, the real transformation doesn't happen when you replace someone. It happens when you raise your standards . A better relationship doesn't begin with finding a better person. It starts when you stop accepting less than what you truly want and deserve. And here's where it gets uncomfortable, because raising your standards doesn't just mean expecting more from others. It means expecting more from yourself. It means doing the work to align with what you're asking for. You want someone who's emotionally intelligent, grounded, kind, and communicative. Amazing, but are showing up with that same energy? We attract what we tolerate. If you keep accepting inconsistency, mixed signals, or bare minimum effort, that's not just on them, it's on the standard you're holding. And often we don't even realize we're lowering the bar. We excuse it. We say they're just busy, or it's complicated, or they're trying. But deep down we feel the misalignment. We feel the anxiety, the doubt, the confusion. That's your inner self whispering, this doesn't match what you really want. Here's what I want you to understand. Attraction isn't magic. It's a reflection of how we see ourselves. When your self-worth is low, you'll chase validation from people who make you feel like you have to earn love. When your self-worth is strong, You'll walk away the moment someone treats you like an option, not because you're arrogant, but because you've built a life where peace and self-respect are non-negotiables. So many people are looking for the next person to make them feel loved, but what they really need is to take a hard look at the version of themselves they were in that last relationship. Were you expressing your needs clearly? Were you honoring your boundaries? Were you choosing from a place of confidence or fear? That reflection is the most valuable thing you can do post breakup, not rushing to date again, but slowing down long enough to reset your standards and step into a higher version of you. And yes, that means some people won't stick around, some will be intimidated by your growth, some won't meet your standards, and that's okay. When you stop settling, you stop stretching yourself thin to make things work that were never meant to. You start choosing people who naturally align with your values, your pace, your heart. And that's when love starts to feel like a partnership, not a project. This is your time to get clear on what you truly want, and then become the kind of person who never settles for less. There's this uncomfortable space after a breakup that no one really prepares you for the silence. The empty nights, the quiet mornings, the moments when no one is texting to ask how your day is going. It can feel like loneliness hits you all at once, like a wave you didn't see coming, and the instinct for most of us is to escape it. Fill the space, find a distraction, anything to avoid being alone with ourselves. But here's the truth. If you can learn to sit with that loneliness, if you can learn to own it instead of run from it, it becomes your power. We spend so much time trying to avoid being alone that we forget what it means to truly be in our own company, to actually listen to ourselves. That's where confidence is built, in the quiet, not when someone is validating you, not when someone's holding your hand and calling you beautiful. Confidence is born in those moments when it's just you, and you still choose to believe in your worth. It's easy to feel strong when we're surrounded by attention or affection. But the real strength comes from knowing you don't need those things to feel complete, that you can sit in a room by yourself and still feel like you matter, that you don't have to fill the silence with noise or the bed with a body just to feel okay. When you resist the urge to numb the loneliness, when you actually lean into it, you start to hear yourself clearly. You start reconnecting with parts of you that got buried under all the noise of the relationship, the hobbies you abandoned, the dreams you paused, the energy you gave to someone else without leaving enough for yourself. This space, as uncomfortable as it is, becomes sacred, because it's where you begin to rebuild, not from a place of distraction, but from a place of clarity. And when you grow in that space, you begin to carry yourself differently. You stop looking at alone time as a punishment and start seeing it as peace. You stop needing constant reassurance because you've built your own, and suddenly the kind of love you're drawn to changes. You stop tolerating half-effort love. You stop giving your time to people who only show up when it's convenient. Because now you know what it feels like to enjoy your own company, and you're not about to trade that peace for chaos. So if you're feeling alone right now, don't see it as a void that needs to be filled. See it as a gift. This is your time to come home to yourself. Use it. Grow in it. Find the strength that only reveals itself in the quiet. You are not empty. You are becoming whole. Have you ever noticed how the same kind of relationship keeps showing up in your life, just with a different face? Maybe it's someone emotionally unavailable. Maybe it's someone who needs fixing. Maybe it's someone who makes you feel like you have to prove your worth to be loved. And it's frustrating, right? You start to wonder, why does this keep happening to me? But here's something most people don't want to hear. The love we attract often mirrors the love we believe we deserve. That's a hard truth, but a powerful one. Because if we keep ending up in the same kind of relationship, the pattern isn't just about them. It's a signal to look inward. It's about what we're reflecting, what we're accepting, what we're unconsciously broadcasting through our beliefs about love, ourselves, and our worth. So many of us have wounds we haven't healed, things from our past, maybe from childhood or past relationships, that tell us love has to hurt, or that we have to earn it, or that if someone pulls away, it's because we're not enough. And when you carry those beliefs, you don't just attract the wrong people. You choose them. Not because you want pain, but because it feels familiar. It matches the script you've been living with for years. That's why inner healing is non-negotiable if you want to change your love life. You can't keep searching for a healthy relationship while ignoring the parts of you that still believe you don't fully deserve one. The wounds don't go away just because someone new enters your life. In fact, they tend to show up louder. Every trigger, every insecurity, every fear, they all rise to the surface when we get close to someone. And if you haven't done the work, you'll either sabotage the relationship or settle for less than what you need just to feel safe. But here's the good news. The moment you become aware of the pattern, you can break it. You can begin the process of healing the parts of you that thought love had to come through struggle or sacrifice. You can start showing up with stronger boundaries, clearer standards, and more self-respect. Not from a place of defense, but from wholeness. From knowing that love should feel safe, not confusing, empowering, not draining. When you heal, the people who used to feel exciting start to feel exhausting. The drama you once mistook for passion becomes unappealing. You begin choosing differently, not because you're bitter, but because you're finally aligned with your worth. And it changes everything. The love you reflect changes because the love you carry for yourself has changed. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you believe. So heal the belief, upgrade the story. And watch how the love you receive transforms with it. When you do the inner work, you stop repeating the past and start creating the love you were always meant for. We spend so much time looking outward for love, swiping, hoping, analyzing texts, trying to figure out what someone else is thinking or feeling. We convince ourselves that love is something we find, something out there waiting for us if we can just get it right. But here's the truth. The love life you want doesn't start with finding someone. It starts with becoming someone. Someone who is intentional, someone who is grounded in their worth, someone who isn't waiting to be chosen, but has already chosen themselves. You don't need another person to make you feel whole. You need to become the person who shows up in relationships already whole. And that shift doesn't happen through luck or timing. It happens when you stop living reactively waiting to see who comes along, hoping they'll be different, and start getting deliberate about the kind of love you want to create and the kind of person you want to be inside it. Real love isn't about getting someone to stay. It's about building a connection that reflects your deepest values, your boundaries, your emotional maturity. That starts from within. It's built in the decisions you make when no one is watching, in the standards you hold when you're tempted to settle, in how you show up for yourself even when you're hurting, even when you feel alone. We've all been in that place where we think, if I just meet the right person, Everything will make sense. But what if the right person isn't something you find, but something you attract when you've done the work to be ready? When you've learned to communicate clearly, to stand firm in your self-respect, to walk away when something isn't aligned, not out of bitterness but out of love for yourself. This kind of transformation doesn't come overnight. It comes through a series of small, brave choices. Choosing to stop chasing people who don't see you, choosing to stop shrinking yourself to be accepted, choosing to be alone rather than in a relationship that makes you feel less than. And in those choices, you begin to shift your reality. You begin to teach the world how to treat you because of how you treat yourself. The beautiful part is when you start living from that place, everything changes. The kind of people you attract changes. The kind of relationships you tolerate changes. And love no longer feels like a roller coaster of anxiety. It feels like a sanctuary. Not because someone saved you, but because you built it from the inside out. Stop waiting for the right person to show up and start becoming the right person for the kind of love you truly want.